Hey y'all, welcome to Growing for Gold. So excited to have John Perini from corporate here with us today. We will go ahead and jump right in. You guys know our theme is faithfulness is long obedience in the same direction. So just staying the course, failing forward, creating new problems for ourselves, and just growing together towards either the rank of gold for the first time or becoming an expert at getting people to the rank of gold repeatedly. So I'll just open us with prayer. We'll turn it over to John, and then Michelle and I will close the call out. So, God, thanks for this day. Thanks for this opportunity. God, thank you for these women who have decided to be obedient to what you have put in front of them. God, help everything that we say and do honor you. God, would people not see us winning, but would see you shining? Help us point people to you, God, because that is where the true success lies. Thanks for this life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, John, take y'all. This is John from corporate. If you have not had a chance to meet him, he has one of the biggest personalities, and I love that about him. And John treats you like family, which is nice. Just treats you like family. So Nick, I was just telling Michelle, got caught up with time change, and he's like, "Hey, can John jump on instead?" I'm like, yeah, but just be warned, Nick, you might lose your guest spot to John permanently. So we're glad that you're here, John, and I will let you take it away.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christina. So fun thing with Arizona, we're the only ones that don't switch times. So we're usually always kind of a little behind the ball anytime some of those switches happen. No, I'm super excited to be on here. I've been with Plexus, I want to say, for almost 8 years. It's going to be 8 years in March. And I honestly just love my role because I love getting to work with the field. I know y'all are out there working so hard, reaching out to your networks down in the trenches, kind of putting yourself on the line to achieve your goals. And I love kind of just being that person back here at the home office, giving you all the high fives as you're hitting those home runs and just doing whatever I can to help you achieve your success. So completely love that. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Q4 activity. It can generally be a little bit slower than the rest of the year, but this is also a strong time to help prep us for a strong start of the year. Now, like I was saying, Q4 can be a little bit slower because, people are saving for gifts, traveling, going to see their family, going to events more often than not. But this is also when having a strong team culture really comes into play. Now, that can also be one of the toughest things when you're talking to someone brand new. It can be a little intimidating to want to invite them to come do some of the team extra activities. But if we're honest, that's really where those relationships are built. This is where those people start having a great time. They start feeling a part of that tribe. And then if you have that family environment on your team, they're so much more likely to show up during the holiday season because they know that you're emotionally invested into them and helping them achieve their goals. So they're so much more likely to show up during this time to help you achieve your goals as well. Because it's something, like let's say, well, I'm traveling to Michigan for Thanksgiving this year. But it's one of those things where if I'm on this team and I'm like, you know what, I know Michelle is so close to hitting this goal, it could be so easy for me to be like, I'm kind of taking this week off. I'm just going to eat and kind of just disappear for a little while. Or if it's one of those things where I genuinely want to see Michelle succeed, I'm probably going to find a little bit of time to step away and do some work so I can help out my friend hit their goals. So definitely never underestimate the value of having team culture. And it looks like we've got a good chunk of people on here as well. And these are all really awesome people. So never feel kind of like intimidated to invite people to be a part of this because it's really something that a lot of people are missing, especially with all the negativity we've seen in the world these last 2 or 3 years. Everyone is always up in arms about something with someone else. And this is that great, safe, positive environment where we get to pour into each other and really just see each other succeed. One thing I want to share with you, this is called the success cycle. One of my favorite things. I don't get to chat with you all too much, so I had to sneak this in. But there are 4 steps someone needs to go through anytime they're looking to find success in something. Now, the very first step that someone needs to do is potential. They need to see the potential of what they can go out and achieve. After someone sees the potential, then they take action. They work towards getting that thing. After action comes results. This is when they're starting to see a little bit of the fruit of their labor, starting to feel a little bit excited about it. And then the very last step is belief. They know these things are working. They're excited about them. Now, I want to look at this, let's say, through a VIP customer. First, before this person takes Plexus, they need to see what these products can do for their health. Now, once they see what those products can do, they're going to take action. And maybe that's staying consistent on the products, let's say for 2 months. Now that they've taken that action, staying consistent, they're starting to feel a little bit better. One thing for me, I was actually talking with my wife about this last night. I'm a huge sweet eater. That's always the thing that gets me. But anytime I drink Slim consistently, I completely lose the urges to want anything sweet. Like I don't even, when I'm checking out at the line, I have no interest to look over at the Snickers bars or any of these things. The thought literally just doesn't cross my mind. And then after someone has those results, that's when they have the belief in the products. They know that we're not just trying to get some money from them or, just any of those kind of initial hesitations that someone has. They know these things are working, they're feeling incredible, and they know you're really in it to see them succeed. So after they have the belief in the products that you and I have, now they have the potential of, you know what, maybe this is why I want to share with my friends. And so they take action, they send a few messages out, and now, boom, they have results. Let's say they sold their first combo. They just earned like $30 or something like that. Now they're super excited and they have the belief in the compensation plan. Now that they've have that belief, boom, now they see the potential of why they want to go silver. And that kind of just goes on and on and on. Now, I love that because it helps us kind of look at the journey when we're talking to someone. Potential and action, those are the things that you can work with. So you want to share someone like what they can achieve, and then action, get in the trenches with them, maybe help them out a little bit, teach them how to send some messages out, pair up with them and send some messages, whatever that may look like. But then the results and the belief, they have to experience those two things. And once they do, that's when you got your lifers who are excited to show up, do all the team things, and kind of just take those extra steps. Before kind of going on, does anyone want to share anything about this or like, let's chat about that? I always kind of love looking at this because you can usually piece and like, this is where I was at in my journey, or this is totally where I'm at right now. Is anyone kind of going through this process right now or kind of navigating through some of those steps?
I like, John, where you said, even if their next step is just being consistent and becoming a lifelong product user. Sometimes when someone's not ready to bite with the opportunity, we can think on to the next. But the lifers, that's where the long-term residual income really comes in. I mean, I've got people who have been ordering products for me for years and years and years. They might never be interested in the business, but you can continue to drip vision as long as you're also encouraging their product journey. If all of your reach outs to your product people is always business focused, what they're going to feel like is, I'm not doing enough to make her happy here. You've got to take the time to celebrate their product wins too. So I thought that was really good.
Definitely. Love that. Kind of just a tangent on that one real quick. And I got this, the story is from Diamond Ambassador Beth Anderson. And it was something that she shared with me. And it was just one of those stories that really resonated about the importance of, I guess, just plugging people in and engaging them in the team culture. Was she was in a ladies' flower shop one time, and this lady owned the flower shop and unfortunately had just lost her daughter. Her daughter just passed, and she really had no one to turn to, didn't really have a strong support network. So Beth and that team literally just invited this lady to come hang out, to be a part of that team environment and just to have that support network. And this lady now shows up to 100% of the team activities. I don't think she's ever gone silver before, but she shows up to every team thing just because she has this safe place, and they were there to support her through that time when she really didn't have anyone else. And that's someone right there. They may never even go silver, but they're going to keep showing up literally just for that environment that this team provides. And so just love it. I could talk about team culture all day. Love it. But like Christina was saying, a lot of people do join for the health, especially during this season. It's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of times we're like, my health goals are kind of just on hold for a little while, and I'm going to resume back in January. But this is also a great time to set ourselves up to have that strong January. If you talk to someone and you get them to join your team, I would always ask them if they would like to share. But if they say no, a great way that you can kind of segue that and set yourself up for a strong follow-up is just saying something like, you know what, that's totally fine. I didn't want to start sharing with anyone until I kind of had some results myself. But if you start taking these products and you're feeling as good as I'm saying you're going to feel in these next few months, would you be open to sitting back down with me and sharing with a few of your friends? I love that, because if that person says, you know what, yes, we're kind of giving them that free pass for these first few months, but then this person has also given us that permission to reach back out to them and talk to them about sharing with their networks. I love that, because with them expecting that, they're not going to just get that message out of the blue saying like, hey, you've been crushing it, you're looking good, how about sharing now? Because last time we talked to them about it, they were just saying, nope, I don't want to do this. So that's a great way to kind of get that permission from them at the start of their journey. And then they'll be expecting to reach out to someone once they have some of those health goals. So that's something that we can use right here. I mean, generally, we can use that all the time, but I think right now it's super impactful if someone is wanting to get started on their health goals, but really they just don't have much time to get started on building a team because they're doing all these additional holiday things. Christina, is there anything you actually want to jump in and kind of share while we're on this topic real quick?
Yeah, I think just reminding people that, like John said, like, hey, when you love your products, will you be telling people? And then reminding them that they would have a guide. A lot of the times, what I notice holds people back is fear of not having enough information. And so I would just say, listen, when you love your products, do you think you'd be open to telling people? Because I have a really simple system that has helped a lot of people not have to budget for their products. And I feel confident that if I plugged you into the system, if you were willing to just lean in with me, we could totally get you there. And then when they say, yeah, I would be open to that, I just say, cool. Like, I'm glad that you're open to that. I know people are praying for relief and our products can help them. I'm just curious, if you were to do that and say, have your 3 friends join this week, what would that $300 that you're going to be earning, what's that going to allow you to experience next month that you might have to be without if you don't? And the reason I ask that question is I want them to visualize what they would be doing if they accomplished it. Well, I could buy that VR set that my kids wanted that I wasn't really sure I wanted to buy because it's just one present under the tree and it's so expensive, and I could buy that. Or I might make the trip to Thanksgiving, to my parents' house a few hours away that I wasn't planning to make, or whatever. I'll get them to think about what it would look like to have it. And then I will say, cool, well, listen, I think I can get you there. Like, I'm real confident I can get you there, but I'm just very chill in my tone. Then I'll say, but before we get started, if something were going to hold you back from seeing this through, what do you think that would be? Because it's totally normal to have some fear or some doubt. I went through it myself. So let's just go ahead and talk about that now too, so that that doubt doesn't creep in later when you're alone. And then I invite them to share like, well, I mean, it is going to be busy next week. So I don't really know, like, what they're saying is, show me how I could do this in spite of the busyness. And then I'll say, cool, well, my week's busy too. Let's go ahead and figure out when we can make some pockets of time. So I let their answers kind of guide the conversation, but I'm already looking to meet their objection and then help them see a way around it immediately. Yeah. So, and I don't let their, like the time of your busyness, I don't let it feel like a barrier because I'm living that too. And so I'm just showing them, oh yeah, totally get it. Totally get it. And here's what I'm going to do to simplify what's needed between now and the end of the month. I want to capitalize on end of the month, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You guys, people are looking to buy. Do not buy into this nonsense that folks don't have money. Yes, they do. And they're looking to spend it. You just have to be valuable enough and forward enough, not pushy, but forward. And so that looks like filling up your funnel right now. Guys, my biggest tip of advice, get your funnel as incredibly full with new contacts and recent follow-ups, because you're going to have something. It's the biggest, and John Perini will agree, the biggest Black Friday event we have ever had. The biggest as far as what's in it for you and what's in it for them. There has never been a bigger offer for you to offer to your customers ever. But you don't want to have to start the conversations when this is announced on Monday. You want to already have fresh things in the bucket so that you can say, hey, I know I reached out last week and we haven't connected, but you ain't going to believe what I have to offer you. So.
Love that. No, and just with So many follow-ups I want to say. Yes, Christina is not joking around. We have some super exciting things that are going to be launching to help take on the rest of November. We did a Jewel call yesterday, and internally we were talking about it. Like, everyone's loving everything in the comments, so we were super happy after being able to announce everything. And it's going to be really awesome end of month. Another way, love filling the funnel. If we kind of look at some of this stuff, is we have this giant snowball of momentum, and a lot of times, and normally I was just going to relate this to starting the new year, but with closing November, we also have a real strong opportunity with this as well, where let's say something is announced and then we are super excited. We're going gangbusters, sending all the messages out. So we've kind of pushed that snowball down of momentum, and it's just picking up as it goes down, where we know something good is coming. And also same with New Year's coming up. If we take this time to kind of push our snowball up that mountain, like working up to that peak, that snowball is just going to be so much bigger by the time that we push it up there. So when January 1st or when those incentives are announced, we're pushing that snowball over the hill, and we're rolling with so much more momentum than if we were trying to just build it and start it right there when things were just announced. So get ready. Also with another follow-up from that, asking questions. Christina, I love your whole flow where you have that very conversationally. I think the biggest tip I've learned in this role, or biggest skill set I've learned in this role, is having conversations through questions. It can be so easy to go in and just tell someone why we're so excited for them, what we want to see them achieve, and all these other things, where we could be completely missing the mark because we never ask them what they want to achieve, how they want to achieve that, how we can help them. And if you allow someone else to kind of talk you through what they would like to achieve, and then you follow up and support that, they are so much more likely to go through with those steps. A kind of tip with this one, and it's something where Genevieve asks, and this one is more for us when we're goal setting, but one thing, anytime we have a one-on-one with Genevieve, the very last question is always, what would stop you from doing X, or what would stop you from getting this done? And 9 times out of 10, like Christina was saying, she also wants to go shopping on Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all the things, but she's also going to make sure she's getting her reach outs done, her goals done. And 9 times out of 10, the thing that stops us is maybe just wanting to like binge a few extra episodes on Hulu, or, just sitting down and watching something. So if we're mapping out our goals and it's like, okay, I want to go for this, I want to go for this, I want to go for this, and have this achieved by the time the month is over, but I need to set aside like 3 hours on Thursday just to watch TV. That's one of those things where it's like, all right, like, come on, we want to achieve these things, and this is our time block to do that. What is going to stop me from doing this? And then kind of just addressing that and hitting that target on. Real quick, I heard everyone on here just finished doing a reset challenge. I would love to hear some of your results on this. So if you did that, I would love to hear if you could just unmute yourself real quick. If you shed some inches, shed some pounds, would love to hear everyone's goals. So if you took place, could you unmute yourself and share what you achieved through that reset?
I'll go. I lost 6 pounds.
Heck yeah. Awesome job, Michelle.
Well, thank you.
I'm down 5 and my husband is down 11 and a half, and I want to strangle him. But listen, me and Michelle are trying to figure this out. Not only did I lose 5 pounds, but I went to the gym today, y'all, and had 4 new personal records in lifts, which makes no sense in my brain. I don't know why I was stronger the day after not eating. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Actually, I'll probably just message Dr. Hartman and ask him. But I feel great. It's the most bizarre feeling. Most bizarre. So 5 pounds here.
It's only because Brandon had more to lose.
That's what I think. But I had several, Stephanie said she lost 8 pounds. I had several new customers do it. And so I highlighted their results. Like, I messaged them privately, y'all, got them to tell me their results. And then I screenshotted it, covered up their name, but that's part of my stories today. It builds credibility. Like, look, it tells the world I have new customers coming in and they're loving their products. So even if it's not your customer, if you see someone else's wins in our wellness community, you can screenshot or screen record all of the wins and go post it in your stories as building credibility. Look what our team is doing. Look what I can help you accomplish.
100%. Love that. Love seeing the comments. Looks like we lost some pounds, lost some inches. Awesome job, everyone, on that. There's something coming up. I can't share too much on it, but I can already say that y'all are kind of ahead of the mark for unannounced things. So definitely, like Christina was saying, get those videos ready, screenshot those results, because it really is exciting. I don't know. I had never done a fast before reset in my life, and I've had kind of results before where I would take it and then like lose 11 pounds uncompliantly. The max I've lost is 6 pounds, I believe. But it's one of those great things, because my favorite thing about reset is it really does show you the mental strength that you have to kind of fight off some of those habits. But also, I feel like it's a complete, no pun intended, reset on some of those like bad cravings that we'll get. Because it's something at the end of doing that reset, I'm excited just to have like a single carrot. I'm like, heck yeah, like I can finally eat some food. So you're excited just to get back into eating healthy food, which is such an awesome way to kind of address some of those health goals. There's a really awesome TED talk I'll send over to Christina, but it's talking about the power of fasting and what it does, resetting kind of your brain's chemical balance and just what it does to your entire body. That was one thing with me. After watching that, I was so more excited, I guess, to stick through those 3 days of doing the full fast and not kind of thrown in the towel. So I'll send that over, and then Christine just share it with the team. I think last thing I want to share with you all, and then we'll open it up for some Q&A or just general discussion. But it's really just about the importance of how you show up. This kind of snagging it from Tony Robbins, saw him a few years ago, but it was probably like the biggest mic drop moment I've seen in my entire life. We were in an audience, and I want to say there's maybe 5,000 of us or so. He's like, okay, everyone, I want you to stand up and go introduce yourself to someone, but be super nervous and intimidated to talk to this person. And so we're showing up. I'm like, hey, like, I'm John. Nice to meet you. Like, good to meet you, but kind of shying away from every single person. He was like, okay, now I want you to go introduce yourself to someone, and this is your best friend you haven't seen in a few months. Now we're walking up to strangers like, hey, man, what's up? How's it going? Super pumped, high-fiving everyone. And then he was like, okay, now I want you to go introduce yourself to some new people, and this is your soulmate you haven't seen in a year. So once again, we're running up to strangers, swing hugging each other, like getting all up in each other's business, and we're just like so excited to see everyone. And then he said, okay, now notice I didn't tell you what to do. I just told you how to show up, and your actions completely changed. And that was one of those things where it was just such an eye-opener for me, because, you know, if you approach a conversation with someone and you've already kind of determined this person's not going to want to buy something, but we're just knocking this reach out just to say we did the thing, that's how our message is going to come across. You know, it's one of those things where it's like boom, here's a copy paste message, and then done. I did my thing. I'm disappearing for a little while. Where if you take that time, it's like, you know what? I know Jess is so pumped to hear about this. These products are going to be amazing for her. And I know she's going to love getting to hang out with Pamela and like meet the rest of the team. Now you're so excited when you show up for that conversation and you're putting all the benefit on that person. You are just so pumped, and it completely changes your entire messaging. So really just want to kind of give you that tool to have in your tool belt. Mentally pump yourself up before going into a conversation. I don't know if anyone on here has ever read The Secret Code of Success, but hands down, my favorite book I think I've read in this industry. And the whole concept of that is he takes affirmations. You know, we can like tell ourselves, repeat, you know, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. But if we're sitting on a couch eating a bag of potato chips while we're telling ourselves, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, we're kind of hoping to repeat that message enough till we hopefully want to start living by that. The concept of the secret code of success is, instead of just telling yourself something on repeat, ask yourself how you're going to achieve that. So you ask yourself, you know what am I going to do today to be healthy? Well, you know, I'm going to put the soda down, going to drink some more water, going to go for some walks instead of just watching TV all night. And then you're kind of coming up with that game plan on how to actually achieve that thing. Now, love this, because you can apply those questions to literally all areas of your life. If you're going in and saying like, hey, why am I so excited to talk to Caitlin today? Boom, now we're filling up our head with why we're so pumped. Now we're approaching that conversation like ecstatic to talk to Caitlin, opposed to like, do I have to talk to Michelle today? Like now it's just that like we're like a looming dark cloud throughout that entire conversation. And that's one thing also, with, you can ask yourself, like, why does God love me? Why does my family love me? Why does my team love having me as a leader? And like, you're just asking yourself these positive, intentional questions to have these intentional, positive conversations with ourselves. And I think that's really something we don't do enough. We're usually in our head, kind of just beating ourselves up about things that no one else on earth even thinks about us. And so we're kind of just in there beating ourselves up for no reason. So that's hands down one of my favorite activities. If you're ever in a slump or not sure how to start a conversation with someone, ask yourself those questions. And it's a really kind of awesome experience. So just want to challenge everyone to do that. All right, Christina, these are all my nuggets that I have for today. So I would love to turn it back over to you.
Perini. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. You can go to your next meeting now. Thank you for showing up for us, John. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Tell Nikki's in the doghouse for like 24 more hours.
Yeah, we'll be like, make your band.
Thank you, John. You're the best.
Have a great rest of the day, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So for the next 20 or actually 19 minutes, we will just do our normal Growing for Gold Q&A. How are things going in your business? What problems are you making for yourself? Showing up every single week. We have these calls. We obviously won't have it next Thursday, but with questions or things that you need coaching on or things that you thought would go one way and they're going another. What is it? How can we help?
I have a question, Christina.
Okay.
Well, hold on a second. Okay. I know that he was talking about the business end and everything, and I'm kind of real excited because my friend Sandra, who is my bestie, just called me and reported yesterday that her cholesterol's down to 100 points. Her LDL, bad cholesterol. She's going to be able to come off cholesterol medication. Among all the other things, over the last, 9 months, maybe she's been on it, and just constantly reporting good things about what the products are doing for her. So her belief is huge now. She's a lifer. Okay, so she is wanting to sign people up to help pay for her products. So we've got, I don't even remember if it's 2 or 1. I think it's 2 under her now. Anyway, she has a best friend. We're all going out to eat tonight that is also excited about the product. She hasn't been on them that long, but this one, well, she is under Sanders, so that is true. Okay, so she's wanting to sign people up. So we're all going out tonight. And first of all, we're getting Sandra's story together to put on Facebook. So the first part question was, I don't think that I'm doing right, and that's why I'm asking you this, is we're going to do her story, but should these like small wins be posted kind of separate from her story every time they tell you something? Maybe if you want to jump up and throw them in your story instead of your news feed, hey, and her picture and cholesterol down, because of our natural plant-based supplements. I know we have to be careful about putting plexus in there, using that word a lot of times. So would you kind of break those out?
I don't think I understand your question.
We need to do a staple story for her. And that's what we're going to do.
So that's her post, but you can always use your customer wins in your stories to build credibility for your audience. You don't have to put her picture in there or anything like that. Like if you go look at my stories today, I just am basically saying, you can trust me to help you get good results because look, I'm doing it with other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you wouldn't want to specifically say anything about her cholesterol being down 100 points. I wouldn't really want to do.
I would be screenshotting where she had told me that. I would never post that on my wall because that's not compliant, but I can get away with it in my stories. A screenshot in my stories for 24 hours. I feel fine about that. I have not gotten called on anything in compliance with stories. So I would just screenshot, like if she's telling you on the phone, I would say, hey, do me a favor. I'm going to text you and ask you how you're doing on your products. Will you type out this for me so that I can use it in my stories?
Oh, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Huge. I love that. And my second part question was on the other girl that's coming. She says that she has been given samples and, telling people that seem like they're interested, but of course she probably doesn't know enough about the product, and neither do I right now. And anyway, like I need to, but what is some encouragement for her? We've offered to get together as a group. I mean, some of these meet with them, you know, help tell her friends about the product. Some other suggestions, like I telling them, but nobody seems interested.
So
Well, where am I going wrong there?
I would be saying, show me what you're saying to them.
Okay.
Show me
All
what you're
right.
saying. I would say that's interesting. Like other people are interested. So it might just be some tweak we need to make in your wording. Show me what you're doing. Anytime somebody says I'm doing something and I'm not getting any results, I say, show me. If I'm in the gym and I'm saying, Troy, I'm squatting weight and squatting weight and squatting weight, but nothing's happening. And he says, show me what you're doing. Sometimes he's like, Christina, you're not squatting weight. That's a bent over row. Like you thought you were squatting, but that's a bent over row. Like we need to change what you're doing, or you are squatting, but you're not getting down deep enough, or you're like, what, you can check form. So you need to see what she's doing so you can offer her feedback. Also perspective. Like when you say they're not interested, how do you know that? What are they saying to you to make, like, is she assuming that they should be saying yes right away? Because that's actually not accurate. So just being able to offer differing perspective. Does that make sense or not make sense?
That did make sense. I was just thinking about these people that don't have Facebook and what are y'all doing with them? It's like, I don't have Facebook. And I'm like, oh, you know.
Well, when if she's
'Cause,
talking, it doesn't matter how she's talking to people or
Right.
what platforms. I would ask, tell me what you're doing. How do you know they're not interested? What are you saying to them? What are they saying back? What are you doing next? So it doesn't matter what avenue they're using to talk to people. Your work is the same either way.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What else?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
There wasn't one. It was just how can I help? What do y'all have questions on? Need any help with anything, Cecilia?
I have a question if Cecilia doesn't.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
Thanks. So this will be like my first Thanksgiving after starting Plexus. So how do I approach the inevitable questions about like, oh, well, what are you doing? Like, I think I know how to like talk about the products and stuff, but how do I handle the naysayers? I guess is the question.
Well, I will let you right off the hook. I don't even get into product discussion in person at family and me. If somebody's interested, like if they say, hey, I saw you're doing Plexus, what is it? I would say, listen, I will send you some information. What's the best way for me to get that to you? Like, I want to make sure I send you some information that you can really digest. And, I got my hands full here. So how can I send you that info? I always keep control of my business. I don't want to give control to my negative uncle at the dinner table and put me on the spot. Like, here's the thing, even as successful as I am now, there are people who have never given our products a shot. My mom and dad are one of them. So I'm not going to get into, I will have a conversation with someone who's open, someone who's looking to just start. I'm not interested. I keep control. Naysayers. If somebody were to say, oh my gosh, Wimberly, I cannot believe you're doing that. I'd be like, listen, you hadn't seen nothing yet. You just hold tight. The best thing Brittany ever told me was, Christina, one day you're going to drive past that naysayer in your Plexus Lexus and it will all feel worth it. And so I just have always let that fuel me. But if you keep control and composure and just don't allow them to go there with you, you probably won't have the naysayers. Don't invite it. Is that helpful or not helpful?
Yes, that's very helpful. Thank you. And
I
that's
would
a
just
great
say-
idea with the products too.
Yeah. And I do that even if somebody corners me at church, because here's the thing. I am always thinking everything through a leadership lens in my brain. So if I can get pulled to the side at church and I have to give someone a 30-minute product spiel, what I'm thinking is, my team's going to think they have to be able to do this. And so if my team's not able to do this, or I'm not going to require that of my team, I can't do it either. Like, how am I going to say, oh, I got this join after a 30-minute scientific discussion? That's not super helpful. So I would say, hey, Miss Debbie from the third pew, I'm so glad that you're interested in our products, and I want to send you information that will be the most relevant. What's a good way for me to contact you? I just don't allow people to take control of my business. I just don't. And as far as the naysayers, if somebody were to say, Wimberly, I cannot believe you're doing that. And you'd be like, me neither. Me neither. But the more that I'm learning about this industry, the more shocked I am it took me this long. And you just move right on.
Can I
Your
say something real
confidence,
quick?
yeah, your confidence will shock the you know what out of them. Yeah.
So Christina taught me that like way in the beginning when I'm like, but listen, you know, but you don't get it. Like she hasn't already been there. You know what I'm saying? But you don't understand. It's different. And my parents spend an arm and a leg on Plexus every month. They do almost everything Plexus offers. They believe in the products. They've seen the results. But because they are like, we are that family that's going to like hit a button, you just wait till we get around a whole table. They're going to be like, well, doesn't Plexus have something to fix that, Jessa? Now, they do believe in the products. They take it all. But there's always going to be that comment that if I had not learned from Christina right in the beginning, like, never let that button in your head get hit. Like, you keep control. Like, right then I stop and I'm like, okay, let's think about my answer. And now how do I turn that back around? Because it's not just like what you think about naysayers. I mean, like I said, I've had one of those conversations early on where almost every person at the table was using the products for me and loving them. And they still kind of like took that conversation and were like, went down a rabbit hole. Well, there was one person sitting at that table that greatly needs the products and is just that person that will probably never, ever in their life use them, won't even give it a shot to listen to it. That person being at that table during that conversation when everyone else was just kidding because they loved the products, like I had to stop that conversation quick in a good, like positive light. So like what Christina is saying about just keep control of the conversation, that's a mindset thing. Like when you start feeling like, oh God, I don't know how to answer that or whatever, then you've lost control, whereas you're just like, yeah, no, I can totally tell you about that after I finish enjoying my dinner or whatever. Like, because it wasn't even a bad conversation, but it would have been had negative Nancy over there got her hands on anything decent to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to always be a bad combo.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to jump in here. I would honestly, I've had great conversations. And remember what Genevieve, for those of you that were on the cruise, we are not like most people. We're not like most people, and our lives are improving. So I would, here's the thing. I would not be looking for the naysayers. Listen, my mom's health is a wreck and she's still not on the products, but they support me. They love what I'm doing every time. They'll send me messages like, I'm so proud of you. You're making such an impact. What Christina said, take control. This is not something to be afraid of. Build your belief. Listen, go build your belief in what we have and what we're doing before you go to the table if you need to. Because if anything, it just like Christina said, it shows your confidence. It shows, don't expect that. Just go in building your belief and knowing what you have is so solid and knowing what you have is so great that it doesn't matter what people say. It really doesn't. So, there will always be someone who doesn't like peaches. Can't understand them. I love peaches, but somebody won't love peaches. And that is okay. Still means I'm still crazy successful. But again, you're gonna find what you're looking for. So you're gonna find what you're looking for. If you're looking for someone to give a negative comment, guess what you're gonna find? You're gonna draw that out. So one of the things I was thinking about what was his name? John, who spoke to us? John. Okay. I couldn't remember his first name. On a three-way call, when I'm talking to somebody, I will prime them for what I want them to think. I will say, when you buy a white car and then all you see is a white car, Like, oh, ha, 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 yeah, I get that. I said, what's probably going to happen is people's names are going to start dropping into your head of people who need these products and people who would be great at this opportunity. Write those names down because you have something so fantastic to offer these people, and I can totally help you with that. It's just the power of priming and knowing what you are expecting and looking for. So again, friends, it just goes back to your belief. What are you expecting and what's your posture?
So good, Michelle.
Well, thanks.
Anything else y'all need? How are you doing with making your minimum business building activities a priority during the holiday season? Guys, listen to me. Heed my warning. Industry-wide, the first quarter is always massive momentum, but only for those people who are putting in the work 60 to 90 days before it starts. Do not fool yourself into thinking you can pick it back up January 1 and have a massive quarter. It won't work. All you have to do between now and the end of the year is be consistent. If intensity isn't in your game plan right now, consistency must be. You do not have to be intense all the time. Some of you are in a massive intensive mode right now because you want every single ounce of momentum possible. If that's not you, then you just stay consistent with whatever you set your intentions to be. Consistency beats intensity every single time. But do not fool yourself into thinking that you can wait until January and have a piece of that January, February, March pie, because it's always going to be what you've been doing for the last 60 to 90 days that shows up. Okay.
100%. Can I just, how much time do we have? We've got 3 minutes. Okay. I want to give you guys some tips because I know what's coming and Christina knows what's coming. And for those of you that are Ruby or above, you're going to find out what's coming. In your posting social media strategy, exactly what Christina said. You need to be posting people's results. You need to be posting before and after pictures about triplex and reset. You need to be posting. You need to be showing what real people, the results real people are getting. Everything that we talked about at the beginning of the month, the reset, restart with reset. That's what you need to be focused on. Posting pictures, posting story, posting people's results, because we are a step ahead of everybody because of what we've been doing. And that's all I can say. But please be adding so much value on your wall, be posting people's story, talking about results, because facts tell, stories sell. Be incredibly intentional with your posting strategies. And I don't know how to make it any more plain to be talking about reset and triplex, reset and products. Do what you need to do, post results, post pictures, do it. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, listen, don't miss Team Call Monday. Don't miss Team Call Monday. Listen, and that's so funny because it's so generic. People say this is the biggest Black Friday sale I've ever seen, but they're lying. That we ain't lying. We ain't lying. This is let's see, I started in January 2016. So somebody who's better at math can tell you how many Januaries I've been around. They ain't lying this time. I wish they wouldn't exaggerate other times, but this time they telling the truth. This time there really is a wolf. Okay. This time there really is a wolf. Boy, credible. Okay. I got to go pick up a kid, but love you guys. This is quickly becoming one of my fave calls. So thanks for showing up, and I will see y'all next time. Let me go upload this video. Adios.
Bye.